Kamsi Okoye was invisible, not because he wanted to be, but because life at a government school in Ajegunle didn't give many reasons to stand out, unless you were loud, rich, or dangerous. Kamsi was none of those. He wore threadbare khakis, kept his head down, and carried a battered techno phone wrapped in duct tape like it held state secrets. And in a way, it did. That old phone was his gateway to a parallel life. By day, he was the quiet student who always had the answers but never raised his hand. By night, and sometimes during lunch breaks, he was Specter, the anonymous brain behind one of Lagos's most elusive crypto wallets. He wasn't scamming people. He'd learned to code by stealing Wi-Fi outside a cyber cafe, and now flipped coins on decentralized exchanges with surgical precision. Profits rolled in, small at first, then steadily bigger. No one knew, not even his mother. Kamsi's mother, a widowed street vendor, never asked where the sudden and 10,000 for school fees came from. She assumed it was a gift from God. Kamsi didn't correct her. He just kissed her cheek and told her not to worry. But he was always worried. Every time he checked his wallet and saw numbers climb into the six figures, he wondered how long he could keep the two worlds apart. In school, his classmates mocked his frayed uniform. Teachers ignored him unless he raised his hand, which he never did. The only time he felt seen was during tests and when Ada walked past. Ada, with the white socks, all was clean, who actually read novels and didn't laugh when she saw him eating beans alone. She wasn't his friend, not yet, but that didn't stop Kamsi from writing poems about her in the notes app between coding sessions. It happened during morning assembly. Kamsi stood in his usual corner pretending to sing the anthem. Then she looked, not past him, at him. Ada's glance met his for less than a second, but it was enough to short-circuit his thoughts. He fumbled his phone, almost dropping it. A few students laughed. He didn't care. She'd seen him. Later that day, she passed him a flyer for the school's inter-house debate competition. "You should try," she said. "I've seen how you write in English class." Her voice was calm, matter-of-fact, but her eyes held something else, curiosity. Kamsi mumbled something inaudible, took the paper, and slipped it into his notebook. That night, he stared at his screen full of market charts and memes. For the first time, the numbers bored him. He entered the debate, not because he wanted to win, but because Ada would be watching. It meant cutting down his trading hours, skipping the early morning pump of altcoins, and diving into books about colonialism and corruption. It wasn't glamorous, but it felt weirdly exciting. He stayed up reading by candlelight, watching his crypto portfolio on one tab and debating articles on another. Sometimes he'd fall asleep mid-scroll, dreams tangled in blockchain jargon and quotes from Ajegunle. Ada noticed. After school, she asked if he wanted to study together. He said yes so quickly it surprised them both. They met in the back of the library, their heads close over textbooks. He never once opened his phone around her. The debate was brutal. Kamsi's hands trembled as he took the podium. Opponents mocked his accent. Teachers whispered. But then he opened his mouth and words poured out, sharp, clean, fearless. He destroyed the opposing argument, quoting facts, stories, and even slipping in a cryptocurrency metaphor that made Ada smirk from the sidelines. He won. No trophy, but the applause felt like gold. Ada waited for him after the event. "You surprised everyone," she said, "especially me." He wanted to tell her everything, about Specter, about the wallet that now held more naira than the school's annual budget. But all he said was, "Thanks." Word about Kamsi's debate performance spread fast. Suddenly, teachers asked him questions in class. Classmates who ignored him before started nodding in the hallways. Ada smiled more often, and they now sat together during breaks. But something else was happening too. His crypto wallet had started to swell faster than usual. One of his coin picks went viral on crypto subthread, and a new wave of anonymous users started mimicking his trades. He stayed cautious. He still used VPNs, fake accounts, and a rotating list of public hotspots. But he also felt the pull. More money meant more chances to help his mom, maybe even get a new phone, maybe even leave this school behind. But Ada grounded him. Her presence made him question if he wanted to keep hiding forever. It was after school when it happened. Kamsi was in the library waiting for Ada when he got a DM. The sender, unknown. The message, Specter, we see you. Nice portfolio. He froze. His hands trembled. No one was supposed to know. He scanned the library. No strange faces, no signs. He deleted the message instantly and cleared his cache. But his heart wouldn't calm down. When Ada arrived, he forced a smile and suggested they skip studying for the day. Later that night, he sat alone on his mattress, staring at the phone's cracked screen. Whoever sent that message had broken his firewall. Someone was watching him, and if they could find him, they could find Ada too. Kamsi decided to upgrade his security. He used a portion of his crypto to buy a newer phone off a reseller he trusted. It was still secondhand, but faster, more secure. He wiped it, jailbroke it, and installed a stealth operating system. Then he transferred his entire operation, wallets, bots, data, to the new device. Still, he kept the old phone. Something about it felt like armor, like it knew his struggles, his secrets. It had helped him become Specter. Now he needed to evolve. He also decided to tell Ada a partial truth. During lunch, he confessed he was good with computers, that he sometimes helped people online for money. She raised an eyebrow but didn't push. Instead, she said, "Just don't get into trouble. I like this version of you." Her words haunted him because trouble was already circling and he didn't know how to stop it. The next time he logged in, he found a new wallet address had sent him 1.2 ETH. No message, no tags, just a link. He didn't click it. Instead, he traced the address through his back-end systems. The source was routed through 6 layers of mixers. But Kamsi spotted a pattern. Whoever sent it was a black hat trader known for recruiting teen coders and sometimes burning them when they outlived their use. Panic hit hard. He powered off the phone, pulled his SIM, and walked around the block 3 times. He didn't go online for a whole day. But the silence was worse. What if they knew his name, his school, Ada? He needed help, but he couldn't go to the police. He couldn't even go to his mom. So he started working on a trap, a decoy protocol to trace the black hat trader back. But doing so would mean logging in again, taking the bait. He crafted a fake profile, young, eager, skilled, and greedy. He joined the same forums, dropped hints, and waited. It worked. Within 24 hours, he got a ping. A different name this time, but same coin pattern, same language. They wanted to recruit him, pay in stablecoin. All they wanted in return was access to his trading bot. Kamsi pretended to play along, but each move he made felt like stepping into a minefield. One wrong line of code and everything could blow. Meanwhile, Ada asked if he was okay. He wasn't. But he couldn't drag her into this. Not yet. His double life was cracking. Specter was now a target, and the boy with the broken phone had to decide what he was willing to risk to protect the only person who really saw him. To mask the stress, Kamsi bought Ada a rose, a single stem from a roadside hawker. Its petals already wilting, but it cost him real money. She smiled when he handed it to her, confused but touched. "What's this for?" she asked. He shrugged. "For listening? For existing?" He didn't tell her it was also a goodbye, just in case things went sideways. That night, he finalized the decoy protocol, a tracking script disguised as a trading bot. If the Black Hat activated it, Kamsi would see their IP bounce patterns. It was dangerous, maybe even illegal. But Specter was done playing defense. 2 days later, the Black Hat trader bit. They uploaded the script, triggered the first trade, and boom, Kamsi had them. Lagos IP, unmasked once, rerouted twice, then static. He had a partial trace. It led to a cafe on the island, a known crypto meetup spot. His hands shook as he logged out. Ada called that evening, asking why he hadn't shown up to study. He said he had a headache. It wasn't a lie. His mind was splitting from too many identities clashing. The only thing that brought him peace was her voice. Kamsi made a decision. He would visit the cafe. Not to confront, just to observe. He told his mom he had extra lessons and took a bus into the city, heart pounding. The cafe was sleek, full of laptops, whispers, and cappuccinos. He blended in, sat near a window, and waited. Then he saw him, a man in his 20s, braided hair, dark hoodie, fast fingers. Too confident to be innocent. Kamsi's script had flagged this exact machine ID in the logs. He wasn't guessing. Kamsi snapped a photo and left. Now he had proof, but he also had a dilemma. What next? Back at school, Ada cornered him. "You've been weird lately. Distracted? Are you in trouble?" He hesitated, then cracked. He told her everything. Not the Specter name, not the crypto empire, but that he was being followed, watched, and that he'd built something people wanted. She didn't freak out. She asked smart questions. She offered ideas. She even said, "You don't have to be alone in this, you know. I'm not scared of you." He almost cried. With Ada's help, Kamsi cleaned his system. They created dummy trails, wiped old logs, and disabled anything remotely traceable. Then they drafted a message. "We know who you are. Stay out of my code." He sent it anonymously to the Black Hats forum inbox. It was bold, reckless, and probably useless. But it made him feel like he had some control again. Ada read the message over his shoulder and whispered, "You're not invisible anymore, Kamsi. That's a good thing." But he wasn't sure, because visibility could also get you killed. Kamsi expected silence. Instead, he got a reply. "You've got guts, kid. Let's talk." No threats, just that. But it sent a chill down his spine. This wasn't over. It was an invitation to a bigger game, one he wasn't sure he wanted to play. He shared the message with Ada. "They're testing you," she said, "seeing if you'll flinch or play along. What if you said no?" Kamsi shook his head. Saying no doesn't keep you safe in this world. That night, he checked his wallet. Another 2 ETH dropped in, no message. A power surge hit his room and the light bulb exploded. He stared at the sparks and thought, "Is this a sign?" He responded, but carefully. Using a burner protocol, he said, "We'll talk on my terms. I'll send you a link. Time limited, one access only." Ada helped him code the gate. They watched the Black Hat log in. The two traded info, Kamsi pretending to be a hungry coder. The man offered him a job, build a private blockchain for an underground exchange. Ada said no. Kamsi said maybe. The plan was set. He'd infiltrate, sabotage from within, then disappear. But a new complication emerged. The man wasn't alone. He was working with a syndicate, and they had plans bigger than crypto. They weren't just traders. They were data brokers, identity thieves, and malware kings. The blockchain job was a front. Kamsi decoded their test scripts. They were prepping to launch a coin that skimmed wallets during transactions. If he helped them, even unknowingly, he'd be an accomplice. If he backed out, they'd see it as betrayal. He felt cornered. Ada proposed a third option. Expose them. "We gather evidence," she said. "Leak it, then vanish. You're already Specter. Let's make it count." She brought in her cousin, Sei, a uni student studying cybersecurity. Sei didn't ask many questions. He just smiled and said, "You kids are playing with dragons. Cool. Let's burn them." Together they built a mirror system. It would record everything the syndicate sent, every code snippet, every IP ping. They had one shot to collect it all, then blow the whistle anonymously. Kamsi was scared, but seeing Ada and Sei work side by side gave him courage. For the first time, he didn't feel alone in the code. The syndicate sent the final build request. Kamsi slipped in his tracking code, masked as an optimization module. Within minutes, their system was live. Data flowed in. He watched, heart pounding, as Sei captured terabytes of evidence. Wallet addresses, names, even photos. It was a goldmine and a death sentence if they were caught. When it was done, Kamsi hit send. The files went to 3 journalists, 1 international watchdog, and a whistleblower Dropbox. Then he powered off everything. The empire he'd built now sat in silence. The crypto king of Ajegunle had lit the fuse. Now he waited for the explosion. 3 days passed, nothing. No arrests, no headlines, no messages. Kamsi's nerves stretched thinner with each hour. He barely ate. Ada checked on him constantly. Sei said, "Sometimes fire takes a while to reach the dynamite." Kamsi nodded, but fear clung to him. Had the syndicate found a way to intercept the leaks? Had he made a mistake in the data? Was someone coming for him? He didn't sleep that night. He just stared at his silent phone, waiting for a knock on the door. At dawn, the first article dropped. An international tech journal published a report exposing the syndicate's scam coin and its ties to stolen IDs across West Africa. Kamsi read every line. They'd used his code, his exact decoy script, as the primary evidence. He scrolled to the bottom. Source, anonymous. Alias, Specter. His hands went cold. Ada squealed and hugged him. It worked! They believed it! You did it! But all he could think about was visibility. He was out there now. Really out there. 2 more articles followed, one naming names, another quoting an anonymous whistleblower who hinted at being a student. Kamsi's school buzzed with gossip. You hear about that crypto whistleblower? Crazy story. Lagos kid, apparently. He kept his head down, but someone was watching. He felt it in the hallway, the way certain students looked at him longer than they used to. One teacher even pulled him aside. Kamsi, if you ever need support, come to me. He nodded, thanked her, but he knew the game had changed. If the syndicate figured it out. That night, his mom's stall was vandalized. Someone poured oil on her plantain stock, smashed her display table. No one took money. It wasn't a robbery, it was a message. He confessed everything to her that night. Well, almost everything. She didn't understand crypto, but she understood fear. You've always been smart, Kamsi, but smarts don't keep you safe. Keep your head down, please. He promised her, but in his heart he knew Specter couldn't disappear now. A new message arrived, encrypted, direct. Specter, we know what you did. Impressive. Want to work with us? Legit setup. No scams, big payouts. Kamsi stared at it. This wasn't the syndicate. It was someone else. Someone cleaner, maybe more powerful. Ada read it and frowned. They're baiting you, or maybe recruiting. Either way, it means you've got attention. He looked out the window at the noisy street, vendors shouting, life rushing by. For the first time, he felt the weight of 2 futures. He had a choice to make. And this time, the stakes were bigger than love or money. They were about who he was going to be. Kamsi didn't respond to the offer right away. He spent the weekend offline, walking the dusty back streets of Ajegunle, hoodie up, mind racing. Everyone had seen the headlines. A few kids at school whispered, Specter, when he walked by, unsure if it was a joke or prophecy. Ada kept him grounded. Whatever choice you make, she told him, don't let fear decide. Fear makes kings into cowards. Her words stayed with him. By Sunday night, he sent a simple reply. Let's meet. Public place. Full transparency. He didn't know if he was walking into a trap or a new beginning. But he was done hiding. They met at Freedom Park, broad daylight. The contact was a woman in her 30s, sharp blazer, sharper eyes. She introduced herself only as Remy, no last name. She claimed to represent a startup building a decentralized ID platform for African nations. Legal, funded, audited. We've been watching you, she said. Not like that. We saw what you did, how you handled the syndicate. We need minds like yours. She handed him a card with a QR code. Scan this when you're ready. We'll train you, pay you, protect you, but we'll also own a piece of you. Kamsi held the card like it was made of fire. Kamsi laid it all out to Ada. The offer, the project, the strings attached. Ada listened carefully, then asked the question he feared most. If you take this, who do you become? He didn't have an answer. Not yet, but he knew Ada wasn't asking about the money. She was asking about the mask. Would Specter ever take it off? She kissed his cheek. If you disappear into the code, don't expect me to follow. I like the real Kamsi, not the legend. His mom didn't understand QR codes or crypto wallets, but she understood change. When she found the business card in his notebook, she didn't ask many questions. Your face is tired, Kamsi, she said, like your soul is carrying too many secrets. Whatever road you choose, make sure it lets you sleep at night. He nodded, guilt crushing his chest. He wanted to protect her from his world, but it had already found her. Maybe this new offer was a way to shield her, legally, safely, or maybe it was just another trap with fancier wrapping. He waited 3 more days. Then one night, under flickering fluorescent lights and the hum of a faraway generator, Kamsi opened his camera app and scanned the QR code. A form opened, biometric, secure, real. They weren't playing. He filled it in. The final line read, alias? He hovered over the field, fingers twitching. Then with a deep breath, he typed, Specter. Submit. The screen flashed, then went black. A new chapter had begun. But no one said it would be safer. The next email came at dawn. A location, a password, and a warning. Arrive alone. Kamsi wore his most neutral clothes, stuffed his cracked phone in his back pocket, and boarded a Danfo heading toward Lekki. The address led to a quiet compound with biometric gates and cameras. Inside, Remy was waiting. She introduced him to the others. Young coders, some no older than him, all recruited from across the continent. It wasn't a school. It wasn't exactly a job either. It was a lab, and Kamsi was expected to produce. He felt both thrilled and trapped. Kamsi was given access to their full development suite, but under strict anonymity. No names, no photos, just code. He adopted the Specter persona completely, blending into a team of digital ghosts. They were building a platform that could change everything: voting, banking, records. But the question gnawed at him: who controlled the platform? One night, he slipped into the root server logs and traced the admin tree. The top-level access belonged not to Remy, but to an investment firm tied to foreign interests. Kamsi's stomach twisted. Had he just traded one chain for another? Outside the lab, Ada was still calling. He answered less. She noticed. Is this who you are now? Always logged in, never present, she messaged one evening. He stared at her words for a long time, then sent back, I'm trying to build something real. Her reply was instant. So was our friendship. Don't forget that. He felt the mask slipping, and he didn't know if he could hold both lives much longer. Part 2. Coming soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your comments in the comments section below. Thanks for watching. See you soon.